How to create a fire text effect. This is a classic text effect, but in my version is completely editable. It's easy to make and it only takes a few minutes. This is how it looks, and as you can see in the layers panel, it's still a live text layer, so I can replace the text easily. Of course, the flames need rearranging, but that's not difficult. With that being said, let's get started. First, we'll make the background. Easy stuff. My canvas is 1920 by 1080 pixels. I'll unlock this initial layer and I'll use a gradient overlay. It's going to be set at a radial one instead of linear, and for the colours I'll use the following. For the left side, 1D, 1D, 1D. And for the right, 33, 33, 33. That's it. Sure, it won't win any awards, but it will give us a nice contrasting effect and it takes no time at all. Now for the real hero. I'll write in some text. On fire. This is going to be in Oswald Bold. This is a Google font, so you can get it in no time at all and follow along. You might be wondering why I don't include some of these special fonts I'm using in my course. Well, you need the right license for that. The images you have attached in previous lectures allow me to do that. They have a special license. For fonts, it's a bit more complicated, especially since I'm charging money for this course. So it's much easier to point you in the right direction than have legal problems over a misused item. Okay, regarding the colour, that doesn't matter, but I will set the font all in caps and I'll change the size to 323 pixels. A bit of a random number, but that's what I used to create it. Now for our awesome layer styles. First, we'll add a stroke of 4 pixels that's set on the outside of the text layer. We'll use pure red as the colour, so that's FF0000. Now for the inner glow. We'll change the blend mode to normal, the opacity to 100%, and we'll use a nice yellow, FFEA00. For the technique, we'll leave it at edge, and the size should be 32 pixels. Okay, we're done with that too. I actually didn't make the effect in this order, but it's easier to follow along by starting from the top and moving down to the bottom. Think of it as a reverse Drake song. Now for the satin. Set at multiply, 50% opacity with the same pure red colour, FF0000. I have the angle set at 90 degrees, the distance at 50 pixels, and the size at 80 pixels. Like always, invert is not checked. The gradient overlay really sets the tone here, so we'll add that next. This time it's going to be linear at 90 degrees. For the left colour, I'll use FF0909. For the right side, we'll go with F8D202. Looking great so far. Now for the outer glow. This is set at normal for the blending mode with 100% opacity. The colour is D2-3C0E. The technique is softer. The spread is set at 15% and the size is 26 pixels. Remember to calibrate these values based on your canvas size. For now, you can follow along, but when you want to use it on a different size document, remember to scale it up or down, whatever the case may be. Finally, we can add a drop shadow, even though this is an optional step. I decided to add it at the last moment. Opacity 70%, angle 90 degrees, distance 40 pixels, size 40 pixels again. This is our effect so far, and it doesn't look half bad. Funny thing to appreciate your own work. Okay, let's keep it moving along. We could do all sorts of tricks to add the fire, but I want it as simple as possible, so let's do this. From my desktop, I'll drag this image of a fire. You have it attached, it's from Wikipedia, just in case you're wondering. The layer should be above our text, of course. Now hold down the Control key and click on the text layer's thumbnail. This will create a selection based on its outline. Do you see the marching ants? So again, you can hold the Control key and you click on its thumbnail. This works for absolutely every layer, not just text ones. Great, now with the selection active and while you're on the fire layer, click on the mask icon. Did you get that? What we did was the following. We made a selection of our text layer and we told Photoshop I want to see the fire effect only in that area. That allows me to keep my text editable, but it also gives me the freedom to adjust it as I please because I'll work on the mask directly. And that's what we're going to do next. We of course don't want to keep the effect like this, we want the fire to extend beyond the top of the text layer, so we'll use the brush tool for that. The hardness is set at 0% and the opacity will vary from 100% to 50% to 20% from time to time. This will reveal the flames and it's up to you how much time you want to spend on this. I'll go pretty fast, but ideally you'd want to start with a lower opacity and lower flow so you could create nice individual strands. Still, even at a fast pace, this produces great results. At the bottom, you may want to paint with black at 100%. You don't want flames there, you want to make it look like the top is on fire and it's slowly eating away at your text. Now it's really all a matter of slowly painting your way through the effect, but it's really simple to do. It's in your brush opacity and flow. I'm constantly changing that by using my keys on my keyboard. 2 for 20%, 5 for 50%, 0 for 100%, and so on. These are all default hotkeys, so you don't need to remap anything. And that's pretty much our effect. Now I can press T and write anything else. Of course, now I need to redraw my mask, but even for a beginner, I think you can agree that's not that difficult. It's a very forgiving process because what you mess up, you can quickly adjust with the help of the other colour. So that's it. Make sure you practice. You have the fire image attached and the font is called Oswald and it's available on Google Fonts. Have fun.